Okay. Hi, so my name's Daniel and this is Yuri, and we've developed something called MedLog. I'm a junior doctor, and when I was a medical student, on my clinical attachments, I noted that it was quite difficult to collate sort of note-keeping and sort of a record of what I did during my clinical attachment. So, for example, on a clinical firm, there'd be 4 students, and each student would generate a lot of paperwork in terms of the patients that they saw in the clinical logbook that they were required to keep. So this is an example of things that a typical student might have on a clinical attachment. They might have paper for clinical logbook, patients of interest, useful teaching, and through word of mouth, people also talk about tips and tricks and general sort of observations, but those tend to disappear very quickly. There's no sort of record of that for future medical students. And also these as well, there's a lot of paperwork generated, but again, they tend to disappear, and usually the only permanent record is the clinical logbook itself. So another problem is, with the 4 students on one firm, they tend to get allocated to different hospitals as well, and it makes it difficult for students to collaborate with each other as well, and to work clinically, but also collaborate and share their experiences and what they've gained. So what we were thinking is to take away all of that and to have a way of storing all this information on the cloud. And this way we would have a permanent record of all of these things, and in addition it would allow other users to comment as well on the various elements. And also it means that students at different hospital sites can potentially look at each other's records and collaborate. And it also means that in each hospital, we slowly build up a permanent record of just small tips and tricks and things and ways they can maximise efficiency on the firm, and hopefully sort of throughout the years, as more and more students use it, it'll get more and more rich in its data. So we'll just show you what we managed to do in the time that we've got this weekend. So what we've done here is we've essentially got a mock-up, and we've got a task list, so that's essentially the core procedures, things like that, which you can allocate at the very start of your rotation, and you can mark them as done or not done. Also, you can choose cases of interest as well, so you can log things which you thought were interesting. So I see that a lot of students already do that manually on paper, but this way you can do it online, and it will be stored on the cloud. And other users, so if we switch to a different user in a different hospital or in the same hospital as you, can then look at things that you posted, and then if they feel it's relevant to them, they can then ask you a question about it as well. And then you can respond, and it just makes the clinical experience a lot more collaborative than it is currently. And also you can share small tips and tricks. So we haven't expanded that section as fully as the case of interest, but potentially it's the same concept.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.